back to Morning Break. Today we're exploring the intriguing era of Nevada's divorce ranches with two distinguished authors. We have Sandra McGee, author of The Divorce Seekers, and Peggy Wynne Borgman, author of The Better Half. Thank you both so much for joining us because you guys have a pretty cool event happening tomorrow. But before we get into all of that, I want you guys to talk a little bit about your books here and just the era that Nevada saw, right, with divorces. So, Sandra, I'm going to have you start first because you go into the facts of it in that history.
Facts person.
Yeah, so tell me just about your inspiration and how, you know, you began to tell these stories.
My inspiration was actually my late husband, who I met some 40 years ago. Bill McGee was a dude wrangler on the very exclusive Flying Emmy Divorce Ranch in the late 1940s. And when I met him, my only knowledge of the divorce era was the 1939 movie, The Women.
Okay.
And here I am meeting this real-life cowboy
Right.
who wrangled ladies like Norma Shearer, Rosalind Russell, Claudette Godard. Those were the stars of the movies. These ritzy English or ritzy East Coast socialites. And I asked Bill tons of questions. What did these ladies do? What did they wear? Why did they stay on a ranch? Why didn't they stay at a fancy hotel? And his stories were like a Hollywood movie coming to life.
I bet, yeah.
And I said, you have to write about it, and I want to help.
Yes, that's great. So tell me a little bit about your book and what people can experience as they dive into it.
Well, I think that I think that a lot of people today don't know about Nevada's famous divorce ranches, which existed from the 1930s to the 1940s, to the 1960s. And people that came to Nevada for 6 weeks to get a divorce, they had to stay someplace and be seen every day in order to get what was called a quickie divorce. And if they had the money and they were important people or celebrities, they wanted to hide out from the press, they'd stayed on one of the dude ranches around Nevada, around Reno. And someone, I'm guessing it might have been someone in the media or the press,
Right, there you go,
called these dude ranches divorce ranches, and the name caught on and became part of Reno divorce lingo.
Yes.
And Nevada was the only state to have divorce ranches.
Yes, isn't
They
so
were unique to Nevada.
Yeah, very interesting history that, you know, we're unfolding. So then with that, Peggy, her stories kind of inspired you to, you know, take the fiction route and really, you know, tell a story of someone who experiences this as a whole. So tell us about your book, The Better Half, and what it's all about.
Well, I discovered Sandra's book probably 5 years ago after I moved here, and I was blown away that you used to not be able to just get a divorce on demand, and that there were states that you couldn't even get a divorce in. And Nevada realized during the Depression that legalizing casino gambling and reducing the residency requirement to be a Nevada resident and get a Nevada divorce to 6 weeks was a great way to bring revenue into Nevada.
Yes.
And Reno was the divorce colony. So as a novelist, it's an irresistible location.
Of course,
and I usually start my novels with a really unique location. So when I found her book, it inspired me to write my own.
Yes, so tell us a little bit about The Better Half and the story. It's Elizabeth, right?
Yes.
She also goes by Betty. So tell me about her and just her journey and, you know, being a part of the divorce ranches.
So the other institution that I learned about at the same time as this were the Indian schools. And, you know, most Americans now are aware of that. 5 years ago, most of us had never heard of them. And I was so surprised that my new hometown of Carson City had been the site of one of the longest running Indian boarding schools, which of course the mission was originally to assimilate indigenous children and basically teach them to become white. So I imagined a character who was a half indigenous woman who had been a boarding school student and ran away and reinvented herself.
Right.
And then ended up in a very bad marriage, an abusive marriage, and her only chance of escape is to come back to Nevada and get a divorce. So that's the setup for the book.
Yes, and you can't give too much away because you got to drive people to want to read it, right? So, so interesting. I bet you can truly just get lost in this book, and you know, people being here from Nevada, I bet they can just really assimilate to what this old time in Nevada used to be like. So, thank you, ladies, for sharing your novels with us, because reading is such a gift that we're able to do, and a great hobby that so many people can take part in so accessibly. But we also have an opportunity for the community happening tomorrow. So tell us about what you guys will be doing and how they can connect with you in person.
Peggy, you...
Okay, so tomorrow evening at Nevada Historical Society, we're actually going to be talking about the fact and fiction of the Divorce Ranch era.
Yes.
We're making a presentation. There's also a wine and cheese reception beforehand that begins at 5 o'clock at the Nevada Historical Society. And you can connect with us. I'm P.W. Borgman, that's my pen name.
Yes.
pwborgman.com, and also on the socials.
Yes, perfect. And then how can people find you, Sandra?
I'm at McGeeBooks.com, and I'm on Facebook at William McGee Books. And our books, Peggy's and my book, are available at the Nevada Historical Society or on Amazon. Or in the case of my book, if you'd like me to sign your copy, you can order it off my website.
Or come tomorrow night.
Yes,
Or come tomorrow night.
Well, thank you both so much for sharing, these stories that you're telling and how people can connect, with you further. It really sounds like so much fun, and definitely a great way to, deep dive into old history of Nevada. So thank you both so much. We'll have all your information on our website at KOLO-TV.com.